July 26th, Monday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. What a hot, humid, just oppressively hot and humid type of weekend we just endured. Many spots up around 100 or so for highs both weekend days. A little bit less hot in the Triad yesterday. And I was poking around looking at some heat index values both afternoons, and on Saturday afternoon, just some really nasty heat index values yesterday too, for that matter. But Saturday, in the Outer Banks, you had Manteo at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a heat index of 115 and a dew point of 81. Just nasty, nasty stuff. And it was tough to try to spend any degree of time outside over the weekend. Now, we did wind up with a few big thunderstorms late in the day yesterday. These are the storm reports from the Storm Prediction Center, especially Davidson County. Pretty big thunderstorm fired up in that part of the region. And the most concentrated activity in terms of wind damage yesterday was up around the mid-Atlantic states, and that was with a front that's now dropping into our area. So today is not going to be as hot, and still heat advisories down for our friends in South Carolina and Georgia in a number of instances, also down around southeastern Louisiana. But some weather changes beginning to take shape for us. Now, the radar imagery is very quiet over much of the region this morning. We have a cold front dropping in. These are the wind stream lines at 4 a.m., and sort of a convoluted pattern here across our region. But you can notice that you have a bit of a boundary right here. That's really a frontal boundary. The actual front's still a little bit off to our north and west. But what's going to happen is the front moves in, stalls out right around the region, and gives us some pretty good opportunities for showers and storms the next couple of days. This is the upper air chart. That upper level ridge has been just crushing the region with heat and humidity. It's collapsing. And in fact, I mentioned on the video a couple times late last week that maybe a more pronounced change, at least temporarily, to some less hot and drier weather, in terms of less mugginess. And there you go. This is the GFS for Friday. And it looks like we will wind up with a pretty good trough in the eastern part of the country Friday and into the upcoming weekend. More on that in a second. Today, it's the frontal boundary moving in and stalling out. That'll give us a pretty good chance for some shower and thunderstorm activity across the region as we go through this afternoon, and it could extend into much of tonight as well. And I think the greatest coverage of rain and storms is going to be tomorrow. So today we're looking at low to mid-90s for highs. Tomorrow, many Piedmont spots will probably see mid to upper 80s for highs due to extensive clouds and pretty good areas of rain and thunderstorm activity across the region. Now, the front begins to wash out by Wednesday, but I'll still mention at least some afternoon storm chances. Lower 90s Wednesday. And then the next more significant in terms of temperature change type of cold front begins to approach Thursday. So I'll mention the chance for some showers and storms Thursday. Ahead of it, we warm into the low to mid-90s for highs Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, we begin to feel the post-frontal air mass. So I'll go 90 for a high Friday, around 90 for much of the region, maybe low 90s in the southern sections of our region. But then it looks like we might wind up with a really nice Saturday. For the time being, I'm going to go with at least some slightly less muggy air moving in for Saturday. Highs maybe shy of 90 in a number of spots to go along with those lower levels of humidity. So it could wind up being a pretty nice Saturday. But then the mugginess begins to try to creep back in Sunday, but at least nothing extreme in terms of heat. So, by the way, the tropics very quiet now. No sign of any tropical development across the Atlantic Basin. So, it looks like, it's still going to be fairly hot at times this week. Some highs in the 90s at times, and really for the majority of the week. But at least we're not looking at that extreme level of heat. No triple-digit heat in the forecast this week, and I think that is a welcome change after these really oppressive levels of heat and humidity, really for much of the summer. Much of June and then much of July has been this way. We got that nice little push of record low temperature producing air around the 1st of July, but outside of that one little island of more comfortable air, it's been a really hot summer overall. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a great Monday, and God bless.